Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons wearing a fancy white silk tie because today I shall be reviewing the classiest Eurovision country of them all, Italy, who chose their entry. Well, okay, so Sanremo happened. Sanremo's not technically a national final. The winner won, the winner gets right of first refusal to represent Italy at Eurovision, but then the artist said yes, I'm going to take my Sanremo song to Eurovision, and then Eurovision.tv was like, we don't know what the song is yet, so it was confirmed, and then deconfirmed, and then reconfirmed that Italy this year will be represented by one Antonio Diodato, or just Diodato for short, and the song Fai Rumore, which means make noise. It's fully in Italian, as you would expect of Italy. They may revamp it to include English. I kind of doubt it. Italy tends not to do that, but yeah. Music and lyrics by Diodato and Edwin Roberts, which is a surprisingly not Italian-sounding name, but who am I to judge? I'm just standing here in front of a flag wearing a white silk tie. I'm sorry if this has, cultural meaning. I didn't think it did, but now I'm paranoid. That aside, let's get on with the review. Well now, Italy, my initial reaction to this song was kind of split down the middle. On one hand, this feels really safe as a follow-up to Mahmood last year, but then again, why just innovate for the sake of it? Either way, Italy is, as I said before, keeping it classy, as always, and even if they're not out here experimenting with genres this time, they have still brought something quintessentially Italian. I could not imagine this song representing any other country, no matter what language it was in. Though, reading the lyrics, I felt like, this could be 2000s San Marino, but I mean that in a good way, because there was only one song for San Marino in the 2000s, and it was well written. But anyway, this song still kind of messes with my head, because, the mature side of me appreciates the refined, carefully controlled emotions of the entire piece, but then my childish side storms in I'm not 100% certain, but I feel like I should be bored! I don't think this song does bore me, though. I will say, though, as someone who knows nothing about Coldplay, kinda reminds me of a Coldplay song. Don't know why. Not any specific one, just generally. I really don't know where I'm getting that thought from. Make of that what you will. For now, let's unpack what's good here and see if I come to any conclusions for myself, because goodness knows I could use a hand there. So, just now, I was talking about the lyrics and how the lyrics made me feel, and yeah, when I heard this song for the first time, I just instantly felt like I had to look the lyrics up straight away to fully appreciate what I'd experienced, because they sounded like they were pretty impactful and insightful and meaningful, to say the least. And I suppose that's worth acknowledging by itself on this list. Once again, Italy has brought an Italian language song performed with such emotional intensity and gravity that even if you don't speak the language, the performance still conveys every single emotion that the artist is aiming for. I felt like I knew what the song was about, even before I could confirm it with my own eyes, because I can speak a little bit of Italian, but I'm more of a Spanish kind of guy at the moment. But yeah, when I did read the lyrics for myself, yeah, this song is beautiful musically and lyrically, I can confirm. I will say though, it's impressive how a song with such a massive presence can feel so intimate at the same time, and the juxtaposition between those emotionally intense lyrics and Diodato's huge voice works wonders to further that effect. In case it wasn't obvious, yes, I want to praise his vocals by themselves. Even if you take away the meaningful words and the emotional believability of his performance, take away everything else, Diodato's voice by itself is nothing short of incredible, to be perfectly honest. Just when I thought I was going to maybe switch off from this song after the first verse, he explodes in out of nowhere with some crazy impressive big notes. And not only is it impressive that he can hit them at all, it's also impressive that for as big as they are and for as intimate as the song is, they don't sound incongruous or out of place when introduced after that relatively quiet opening part of the song. For scale, I think one of the last songs to make this work to quite this extent in Eurovision history was Estonia in 2012. It's been a while. And while I'm on about what this song juxtaposes to great effect, I want to give a special acknowledgement to the instrumentation. Naturally, as Sanremo tends to encourage, the music lends itself well to an orchestral performance, yes, and it has a leading piano line that opens up the prospect of staging focused around the old cliche of delivering an emotional song whilst tinkling the ivories. But what I want to point out is the inclusion of almost like outer spacey sounding sort of synth aspects, kind of. Like, that's the part of the music that really caught my attention personally. Well, that and the instrumental break towards the end, but I should be careful about praising that, bearing in mind it's probably going to be the first thing on the chopping block when it comes time to shorten this song down to meet Eurovision standards. But point is, I will probably listen to the karaoke version of this song as much as the full thing. It's pretty, and Italy tends to do pretty well, so yeah. Come to think of it, that actually does seem like a pretty good place to start on the backside of this review. This song is a beautiful composition in every respect, so I can only worry about what they intend to change to make it work for Eurovision, because at the moment it's too long to be a Eurovision song. They need to cut it down, and yeah, look how well that worked out in 2017 for Occidentali's Karma. And also, I feel like a total revamp would be completely overdoing it as well. That would do much more harm than good, so please just write that option off by itself. But then that just brings us back to just take a bit of the song and cut it out. And as I said, that didn't work the last time Francesco Gabbani was anywhere close to Eurovision, because he came second in Sanremo. That's kind of the connection I'm trying to draw here. What I'm driving at is, I just worry that they might be a bit too eager to make the most obvious move, to cut out the instrumental break towards the end of the song that I'm so fond of. That seems like the first choice to get rid of, simply because Diodato has a really impressive voice, and an instrumental break, by its very nature, doesn't use that voice. They might reason that him just sitting there silently playing the piano or reacting to the music or whatever for 30 seconds won't impress the juries or something. It's a different story in Sanremo, of course, because there aren't time limits and the juries are looking for that sort of thing, but at Eurovision, it's a bit of a different ballgame. For that matter, sparing a thought for the televoters here, as I said at the top of this review, it's a strikingly safe offering compared to last year, and last year's experimentation rewarded Italy with a solid second place finish. To an extent, it's almost impossible not to compare this to Mahmood in one extent or another, and under that kind of scrutiny, this does kind of come across as just a ballad, or as dangerously safe. True, most voters on the night will not be thinking that way at all, so I may be worrying over nothing. It's what I do, I overthink. But yeah, I feel like I might not be the only one. Maybe I am, in which case, good. But yes, I really like the instrumentation and the refrain on this one, so the highs here are really high in my opinion, as, you know, Italy is used to that kind of quality. But that kind of just makes the verses seem that much more, not tepid per se, but like they have less impact just in comparison. They're still good, they're intimate, they're a necessary part of the song's atmosphere, they're emotional, and I won't say that this is the sort of composition where the verses are only there as something to fill space to lead up to the refrain, but they're kind of less interesting than when the song peaks. Is that just me? Am I even making sense at this point? I don't know. Well, let's gather my thoughts back into my skull for a minute here and try to distill them into numbers. At the risk of angering the snobbier half of the fandom, I'm going to land on a personal score of only 7 out of 10 for now. I could see that number going up as easily as I could see it going down, or even staying the same, honestly. The simple truth is, it takes a really special kind of ballad to truly resonate with me and win my heart, and it can happen, it's happened before, but I haven't fully settled on where I stand with this song in particular just yet. It's good, I won't dispute that. This Italy's serving quality, it's what they do. But I'm going to need some more time to get all the way used to this one before I can say for certain whether I'm in love or just kind of a little bit bored. Like, I'm not fully bored. Believe me, my inner jury member and my inner child are having a raging inner debate as we speak. Because it's quality, I recognise the quality, but child me is looking for something to latch onto and finding very little and just... I am a mess, you don't need to tell me. So, while that's going on somewhere in here or wherever my thoughts are, I can at least settle on a 9 out of 10 on the technical side of things, albeit kind of a variable 9, kind of, sort of. Diodato's vocals and emotional presence alone are worth a very high rating from me, and the instrumentation makes a very strong case for the song as well. Put them together, and you've got gold, at least in theory. Still, though, there is a part of me that struggles to reconcile the relative safety of the song's presentation, even with its gorgeous lyrics. The sad thing is, you could have the most poetic song on the planet, but if it doesn't hold your attention, it may as well not even have lyrics. And I'm not saying the song is completely void of anything attention-grabbing, it's just, I find it kind of telling to an extent that it's taking me so long to come to a personal conclusion over it. Will this number change over the course of the season? Almost definitely. But it's a 9 for now. Watch this space, I guess? So with all of that on the table, where is Italy at in the bigger picture? Well, I think it's time for me to make a little debut here and bust out the blue arrow. This has a slightly different meaning from the yellow horizontal arrow. Blue here means that Italy is going steady, not really improving or unimproving, but that there's nothing wrong with that. This isn't a depreciation compared to last year, but it's not a gigantic step up either. But considering that this approach got them second place at the close of last year's voting, there's not really much I can criticize. Yeah, the song itself this time around is, as I keep saying, much safer, which leads to that internal discussion of whether innovation is necessary or not every single year, but in isolation, Sanremo has once again turned up a classy, solidly written, powerfully performed masterclass in integrity and style that only Italy knows how to deliver. I really can't fault that. But the big question that nobody's asking because it's completely irrelevant, would this pass the semi-finals if it had to? It doesn't, Italy's Big Five, but join me on this little thought experiment for a minute. It's kind of a tough question. I think the juries will love this song, no questions asked, and rightly so, they are correct to do so. But it's the public that's sort of giving me cause for hesitation here. I think it will get a good amount of attention from the type of people who do typically go for this sort of thing. Think, for instance, fans of, say, Norway 2015, which this song actually kind of reminds me of in a strange sort of way. But at the same time, if it's performed close to a song like, say, Latvia or Lithuania, it may end up getting overlooked, you know what I mean? If it's competed in semi-finals, I think a qualification would be highly likely though, because it's Italy. Italy knows what they're doing, their delegation is probably one of the strongest at the contest, but I struggle to picture where it would land on the scoreboard beyond that. Top 15? Almost definitely. Top 20? Guaranteed. A top 10 finish wouldn't surprise me at all, because Italy just doesn't do flops. But then again, spare a thought for Emma in 2014 or Francesca in 2016. It can happen. We'll just have to see how this one goes. But I doubt this will end quite as badly as either of those examples, in case you were worrying, but even then, that wasn't bad, that was only relatively underwhelming in terms of results. And at this point, I'm rambling, so I'll throw the question over to you. What do you lovely people think? Do you like this song? Does it bore you? Does it excite you? Let me know how you feel. iCard, corner of the video. There's a poll, let me know how you feel. And of course, comments below, let's have a civil discussion. Is there something you think I've missed? Is there something that I found that you think that you missed? Let's talk about it. In the meantime though, Diodato and all of Team Italy, I wish you the very best of luck for Rotterdam. Keep doing what you're doing. You bring class to the contest, and we would miss you if you left again. Please don't leave us again, Italy. There's no risk of that happening. Yeah!